Let's welcome everybody back to some Out of the Park. And with that, I go for a sleep because brilliantly awesome stream until next time. Boom. Yeah, absolutely. Take care, Crack. Have a good night's sleep, man. Um, let's welcome everybody back to some Out of the Park. It is the 31st of July in the year 1871. And it is the Washington Olympics, who themselves are what 9-13. Where's the? Why am I on the wrong tab? Who are themselves 9-13, and they are 5.5 games back in the American League, trying to keep their season alive. They are on the road at the 10-7 Chicago White Stockings, who trail Rockford now in the National League by a half game. Uh, so important game for Chicago because they want to try and keep pace with Rockford, whose season, by the way, only has 6 games left. Cleveland sitting here at 10-7. They've got 15 games left, so double the amount that Rockford have. And so the more wins they can rack up, the easier it will be for them to clinch down the line. Um, Especially since the teams behind them in New York and Fort Wayne are also have games. Those two teams also have games in pocket compared to Chicago. So the more wins Chicago racks up now, the easier it will be to clinch later in the season for the White Stockings. Washington trying to stay alive. A win here pulls them back within 5 of Boston. Boston slipping up. They've lost 3 straight, trying to, these clubs now like Washington trying to take advantage of that and get themselves back in the pennant race. A long way home, though, a long way from home. Our Washington, a loss here would sink them to 9-14. With 9 games left in the season, they would be 6 games back. They would be very close to elimination. Let's go over the starting lineups, starting with the visiting Washington Olympics. Leading off as second baseman Ed Dovey. He's got a 208 average, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. He's 3 for 8 versus Fisher this season. Tom Foley is the center fielder. Duffy's on a cold streak, by the way. Tom Foley also on a cold streak, the center fielder, batting 176 with 7 RBIs so far this season. He's yet to get a hit in 7 at bats against Fisher. Charlie Gold, first baseman's in the 3 spot, 11 RBIs, 1 home run so far this season with a 286 average. He's 2 for 8 versus Fisher. John Bass, the shortstop, is in the 4 spot. He is batting 304, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and he is 3 for 8 versus Fisher so far this season. John Ratcliffe, the third baseman, is in the 5 spot, 12 RBIs, a 295 average. He is 2 for 7 versus Fisher. Bob Armstrong is actually going to get the call up again. He's had his first 2 to 3 starts in the last 3 to 4 games for Washington. He gets the call up again tonight in right field. He's batting 222 with 4 RBIs. He's yet to face Fisher. Charlie Mills also on a cold streak. The left fielder bats 7th. 1 home run, 12 RBIs, and a 221 average so far this season. He is 0 for 4 versus Fisher. Elmer White, the catcher, bats in the 8th spot. He is batting 206 with 4 RBIs so far this season. He's 2 for 8 versus Fisher. And pitcher Al Pratt is in the 9th spot, batting 243, 6 RBIs so far this season. He's 2 for 7 versus Fisher. We come back for the pitching matchups in a moment. Let's do the starting lineup for your hometown Chicago White Stockings. George Betchel on a cold streak. It leads it off. Left fielder batting 188 with 10 RBIs so far this season. He's 0 for 9 versus Pratt. Bill Kelly, the second baseman, Bill Kelly, the center fielder, is in the 2 spot, batting 309, 8 RBIs. He's 3 for 5 versus Pratt this season. The big bat's in the 3 spot. Levy Mayerly, the third baseman. He's batting 368, 13 RBIs, 1 home run. He's only 1 for 7 versus Pratt, though, this season. Gad Steyer's the right fielder, takes up the 4 spot. 343 average, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. He is 2 for 8 versus Pratt this season. Mark King, the catcher, is in the 5 spot, 270 average, 7 RBIs. He's batting 3 for 7 versus Pratt. Everett Mills is in the 6 spot, first baseman, batting 263, 8 RBI so far this season. He's 1 for 8 versus Pratt. Charlie Hodes, the shortstop, is in the 7 spot, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, and a 304 average so far this season. He's 2 for 7 versus Pratt. Sam Jackson in the 8 spot, also 2 for 7 versus Pratt, the second baseman, batting 277 with 6 RBIs. And pitcher Cherokee Fisher, who's been the best hitter, or one of the best hitters in this lineup, is in the 9 spot, 391 average with 11 RBIs. He is 3 for 7 versus Pratt so far this season. On the mound for Washington will be Al Pratt. He's 9-12 in 22 starts with 1 no decision. 2.94 ERA with a 1.31 whip. He's 1 for 1 versus the White Stockings this season with a 3.45 ERA across those 2 games. Cherokee Fisher is on the mound for Chicago. He's 10-6 in 17 starts with 1 no decision. 1.81 ERA with a 1.22 whip. He is 1 for 1 versus the Olympics this season with a 1.59 ERA in that time. It's a 105 first pitch start from the Union Baseball Grounds in Chicago, Illinois. Clear skies, 73 degrees. For those of you that use Celsius, that is 26? 26? 25? No, that's like 23. That's about 23. Math in the head? Yeah, that's 23 degrees. Right, we begin with a sponsor as always. DM Stewart's an awesome speedrunning retro game commentator who commentates the Final Fantasy randomizer for FF1 and the Worlds Collide randomizer for FF6. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The awesome DM Stewart sponsors our first inning here tonight. Cherokee Fisher on the mound. Ed Duffy's in the batter's box. We are ready for this one from the Union Baseball Grounds in Chicago, Illinois. The 9-13 Olympics at the 10-7 White Stockings. And we are ready for the first pitch. That's inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's grounded over to first. And pitcher's over there to cover, and he makes the play. And Duffy is sat down. It's going to bring up Tom Foley, the center fielder. First pitch to Foley. And he's lined this into left. Does it stay fair? No. It lands foul. We'll do it again. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one is high, I believe. No, it's going to catch the corner. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. And he's popped that one up. Right behind second base. Shortstop's there. He makes the play. That's 2 down. Here's Charlie Gold settling in. First pitch to Gold. And he offered at that one. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is popped up right at the mound. Pitcher's there. He makes the grab. And the side is retired. They go down in order to start the ball game. We're going to move to the bottom of the first. It is scoreless. We're going to take ourselves a 3-minute timeout. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. Welcome back, everybody. Bottom first here in Chicago. No score. It'll be Al Pratt on the mound. George Betchel will lead things off for the White Stockings. Here's the first pitch. And that first pitch is inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0. He swung on that one and missed it. That's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's in the dirt, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball three. The 3-1 pitch is grounded foul down the third base side. Full count, here's the pitch. That's flied out in the left. Our left fielder takes a few steps to his left, and he will grab it for the first out. Here is Bill Kelly selling in center fielder. First pitch to Kelly. That's taken on the plate for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Fouled it off. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Trying to get him to chase something off the plate away. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That's high. It's 2-2 now. The 2-2 pitch is flat out in the left. That's going to drop, base hit. And Bill Kelly is aboard with a single. That brings up Levy Mayerly, the third baseman. Here's the first pitch to Mayerly. And that is off the plate, way off the plate. And it gets by the catcher, and Kelly goes to second. It's a wild pitch. He threw that and completely missed everything. Here's the 1-0, and that is swung on into left. Left fielder going back. That is a fair ball, and that might be runs. Sliding into second safely is Mayerly. He's got an RBI double. And Chicago have wasted no time. They've jumped down to a 1-0 lead. Here's right fielder Gat Stiers. Runner on second, one out. That's off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is at the knees, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Flied out into left. Is it going to stay fair? No, it lands just foul. And the count is 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. That is swung on into center field. Way back there. That's going to drop for a base hit. That's off the wall. It's going to be extra bases. Going to third is Stiers, safe at third, and it's an RBI triple as Mayerly scores, and it's 2-0 Chicago. Here's Martin King, one out with a runner 90 feet away. First pitch to King, that's grounded over to second. The throw on to first is in time, 2 down. Stiers did not go on the play. He remains at third. Here's Everett Mills now. 2 outs, 1 on. That one's off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's high, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is way inside, 3-0. Does he have the green light here? No, he does not. That's a called strike right on the inside part of the plate. It's 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count is full, 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. That's lined into left. Is that going to stay fair? No. A full count pitch. This one's popped up in the left. Left fielder coming over to grab it. He does. And the side is retired. 2 runs on 3 hits, and they left 1 man on base. We go to the top of the second. Chicago has taken a 2-0 lead. The 4, 5, 6 spots due up first for Washington. John Bass is going to lead things off. As always, new inning, new spot, sir. Smokaya is an awesome football manager streamer. You can catch him sometimes playing a bit of Helldivers 2 as well. Give him a follow if you haven't already. He's got a great save in TJK Legion in Estonia. The great Smokaya will sponsor our second inning here tonight. John Bass in the batter's box. Just 7 pits for Fisher to get through that first inning. Here's his 8th here to start the second. And that one's going to be right down Broad Street. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. He offered at that one. It's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Grounded over to first. And that's fumbled by the first baseman. It's an E3. First baseman Everett Mills credited with the error. And the leadoff man is aboard here to start the top of the second. Here's John Radcliffe settling in, the third baseman. First pitch to Radcliffe, and that's off the plate. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. The throw over to first, and the runner is back in time. The 1-0. Check swing. They're going to ask third base. He did not go. And it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that one is a ball. 3-0. Does he have the green light? Here's the 3-0 pitch. He's taking all the way. 3-1. Here's the 3-1. That's grounded over to first sharply. On to second for 1. Back to first. Safe at first. So a fielder's choice for John Radcliffe. 3-6 fielder's choice. And they throw Bass out at second. So 1 on and 1 out now for Bob Armstrong. First pitch to Armstrong. And that one is high for a ball. 1-0. The 1-0. That's way high. That is called a strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1. That's off the plate. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Inside, but just catches the corner. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. That's in the dirt, and the count is full. 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. And that is lined into left, and that is going to land foul. We'll do it again. Here's the throw over to first. Runners back in time. 3-2 pitch. Lined into left center. Base hit. Armstrong slides into second with a double. Radcliffe goes to third, and it's 2 on. Oh no, Radcliffe scores all the way from first. It's an RBI double. And Washington's made this 2-1. Here's Charlie Mills, the left fielder. Runner on second, 1 down. And Mills takes that above the head for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Line back up the middle, base hit. Armstrong held at third. Runners on the corners, 1 out here. Here's Elmer White, the catcher. First pitch to White. He's going to take that right across the knees for a strike. The throw over to second. The runner is safe. And Mills has stolen second base. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off into the backstop. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's grounded over to first. Runner coming in from third. They catch it. The pitcher comes over to cover, and it's an RBI ground out. Armstrong does score. Going to third is Mills, and the game is tied. Here's Al Pratt, the pitcher. First pitch to Pratt, and he's fouled that right in the dirt below him. It's 0-1. Sounds good, thank you. Here's the 0-1. And he's popped it up right behind the catcher, and he's got it, and that will retire the side. 2 runs on 2 hits, and they left 1 man on base. We go to the bottom of the second. It's a tie ball game. 7, 8, 9 spots due up first for Chicago. Charlie Hodes will be the first man up. We are going to take ourselves a 3-minute break. We'll be back with more in a minute. Or I'm sorry, we'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. Welcome back, bottom second. Val, it's good to see you. Looking fresh. Thank you. You know the way it be. 11 days, Val. 11 days. Yeah. How you doing, Val? Good to see you. Right. Charlie Hode's in the batter's box. It's Al Pratt on the mound. We are ready. First pitch here to start the bottom of the second. That is right down broad for a strike, 0-1. Decent was going to bed, but I had a sudden burst of it. I hate that. I mean this by no offense, right? Please don't take this as a, well, you know, it's different when you get older. Kind of, you know, like, don't take it as like a, what do you call that thing? Like a condescending way. But, like, I used to have that energy. I used to have that problem really bad when I was in my 20s. And, like, my bedtimes would constantly fluctuate because it would be something like I would come home from work at, like, 1, 2 in the morning. And I would be awake until 4. Some nights it was 5. Some nights it was 6. Constantly back and forth like that.
Evil soul, quit your groveling. I will send you to hell.
Welcome in, Kamish. I love that clip, by the way. That's one of my favorites of what I got. Welcome in. Thank you for the 100 bits, Kamish. I appreciate you, man. I'll give you a shout out in like 20 seconds. Let me finish my train of thought real quick because I need to, otherwise I'll forget it. But when I was 20 and I was working second shift, I used to have that problem. But like now that I'm approaching 40, I don't, like, my body's just way too tired to have that anymore. You know what I mean? So that's what it's felt like. So I got to get back into a schedule, right? And then the school's out. So, like, yeah, right? So, like, it feels like everything is geared against you building that consistency, right? You'll get it, though, in the end. But like I said, like, once I've gotten older, my body just starts actually just giving up on the day. Kamish, welcome in. Guys, if you're not following the Kamish, what are you doing? He's got the best baseball channel on all of Twitch. And I mean that by no disrespect to the rest of the crew. Here is the commit. Why is the clip come up muted? There we go. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. There we go. That must have been one of the last games from the commit that Kamish did. But the Kamish runs the EMLB, which is a virtual universe where you can create a community-created player, get them, boost them so that they become a professional player, and then also get them drafted and in the EMLB universe. Which includes all the 30 regular MLB teams, plus there's 4 expansion teams now, including the Montreal Expos that have returned. So check him out; it's great. He does like a EMLB game of the night. It's like if you like what we do here in terms of like the broadcast value and what we try to emulate with the broadcast value, he's the king of it. He's the absolute king of it. Go check him out. FKN for Fluffy Kitty Ninjas. Kamish LB, phenomenal individual, phenomenal guy, phenomenal streamer. Yeah, second round selection by the Montreal. Yeah, for those of you that have been here from the beginning of the longest save, if you remember our time in Gimpo, you will know that name. Thursday show last week, the All-Star game. That's right, you did just do the All-Star. It was a big week, man. You had the All-Star game, then you had the draft over the weekend. How'd he get there? That's my community-created player over on his save. I've actually got boosts now. I think he's capped for the year in terms of the boost. Like, he's capped for his age. But The moment I can actually boost him again, I'm going to, because I think I have boosts in the bank. So he's like an as of right now, he's a 22-year-old right now, and he's like an okay player. But Ekaki is like, it should have been me. I've had some ideas of who should be, if I ever create a new one, like once Choi Sung-min retires, like who would the next one be? And I'm like, well, you've got Makanya as an option. I've got Osaze de Rosario as an option. Owen Ekakia would be a pretty good option. Um, for what do you call it? For context, Kamish, um, Owen Ekakia is this Congolese Belgian who I found playing in the reserve teams in France, and I signed him for £7,500, and he's literally become one of the best players in the world. Like he developed into one of the best. You can always have multiple players in the universe if you want to get another one set up for the 2034 draft. That's true. But I at least want to work on getting Sung Min a little bit better first, right? So, uh, but you are absolutely right. You can always have more players. So, when are you next live? By the way, Kamish, are you live tonight? Are you live tomorrow? When are you actually live with EMLB? I haven't tapped into the Discord since draft day, so which is my bad. But this week has been insanely busy actually. Um, was trying to do tomorrow, but back end of the draft still going. Likely back at it on Sunday 10 a.m. There you go, Sunday 10 a.m. So you can put him on an hour before the end of the Premier League. Um, so there you go. It's really sinking in that I'm going to see West Ham live, man. Yeah, Val's going to the West Ham game on Sunday. God, I hope we win, Val, and I hope Spurs lose. And I mean that by no offense to any Spurs fan. Ekiki is the perfect rags to riches stories. He is literally 7,500 pounds. Went to Gimpo, played at Gimpo for what 8 seasons, I think. Because when I signed him, I was still in K League 2. I was still in the second division in Korea. Became a Korean citizen. Was at Gimpo for 8 seasons. Won the K League 1 5 times while he was there. The Korean FA Cup, I think, 4 times while he was there. Won the Asian Champions League. Won the K League 1 Player of the Year, I think, once. Moved to PSG. Won the UEFA Champions League with PSG. Um, was the world number one player, was the Ballon d'Or winner once. Um, moved to Iceland. Yeah, he did. He did run with us at Iceland. Was the record-breaking goal scorer in the history of the Icelandic League. Made the Conference League because of the coefficients. And he's actually still at Iceland in the save, but he's wanted by like Arsenal, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, PSG, and I think Chelsea won him. So I think he's leaving Iceland pretty soon. I actually should try to check it out where he's at in the save, because I played a month of the save today, trying to get through more of the off season so that we're not just sitting here tomorrow night, but we're probably still going to be sitting here through off season tomorrow night. But still, um, sometimes the fresh questions are really stupid. Why'd you pick your side to win the league? Maybe because we've won 2 in a row and the last season was invincible. Yeah, yeah. Off season, best season. It's not off season in the fact that like we're doing deals and trades. It's literally off season in the fact that the window hasn't opened yet. Nobody's training. It's not an international break, so I don't even have international games. Like literally it's doing nothing. Yeah. So I love doing nothing. Well, there you go. Come on, you. Either the best day ever or the worst day ever. Yeah. Come on, you Irons. Yes, absolutely. I hope we win Saturday or Sunday. Uh, right. Let's get back into the baseball, shall we? Um, Bottom first, Chicago knocked in two Washington answered right back. It's an 0-1 count right now to, and again, thank you for the 100 bits, Kamish. I appreciate you, man. It's an 0-1 count to Charlie Hodes. Here's the first pitch to Hodes. He's popped that one up right behind home plate. Catcher's over there. He is going to make the play. That's one away. I instinctively do the iron sign with my arms whenever someone says, yeah. That's the first thing that comes to my head when somebody does that. When somebody says that. Right. Sam Jackson, second baseman, settles in. Here's the first pitch to Sam Jackson. He's going to take that off the plate. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Jackson. Jackson's grounded that over to short. The throw on to first is a bad throw. It's a bad throw. And it is an E6. So Jackson's aboard on an E6. Shortstop John Bass gets credited with the error. And that brings up Cherokee Fisher. All hands on deck. I think we get a draw versus Leeds, unfortunately. That's what I'm thinking. I think Everton beats Spurs, but we draw Leeds. If someone makes the joke you are timed out, I don't even know what joke you're referring to. So, right. Oh, okay. I see. Here's Cherokee Fisher, the pitcher. First pitch to Fisher, and he is going to take that high for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0, and that is a called strike. Runner tried to go, but he came back to first in time. The 1-1 is off the plate, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, they bunted back to the mound. The throw over to first, that's in time. So sacrifice bunt for Cherokee Fisher. It moves Jackson to second, but there's 2 outs now. This player is perfect for my style. Poacher, 15 finishing, 13 first touch, 17 heading, 20 nat fit. Wow. 18 jumping reach. Oh, my God. 18 dirtiness, 18 important matches, winds up opponents, gets crowd going. Love to see it. We go to the top of the order, and George Betschel, he flew out the left his first at bat. Runner on a second. And 2 down. First pitch to Betschel. He's grounded that over the third. And the third baseman's fumbled it. There you go. You can do your exclamation point E to get us off that dreaded mark. Dual national Dutch-American. Wow. That is third baseman John Radcliffe making the error. One more till the number. I hope you know we're going to hit that tonight because it's errors abound here in 1871. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Bill Kelly settles in. He had a single his last at bat. That started the run barrage for Chicago. Here's the first pitch to Kelly. That's high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. He swung on and missed, 1-1, but it got by the catcher, and safe at home is Sam Jackson. Benchtel goes to second, and New York have jumped back in front for the second time this game. It's 3-2. Here's the 1-1, but the throw over to second, and the runner is back safely. Here's the 1-1. That is popped up over towards the third baseman. He's got it, and the side is retired. 1 run on no hits, and they left 1 man on base. We go to the top of the third. It's 3-2 Chicago. It'll be the top of the order due up first. And Duffy is going to be the first man up. Before we get into that, new inning means new sponsor. Crack Attack Central is an awesome Irish streamer who's done a little bit of everything. Marvel Rivals, Arc Raiders, Disney Speedrun, Shimigami Tensei 5, and Football Manager. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Crack Attack Central sponsors tonight's third inning. And Duffy will lead things off. He grounded out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to start the third. And he's going to take that on the inside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one is going to be just off the plate outside for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's way high, but he swung on it anyway, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul down the third base side. Here's the 1-2.
Strike three.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. One down. That's going to bring up Tom Foley. He popped up the shortstop his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Foley. And he waved at that one. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. He's popped this one up in the infield. Third baseman's coming in. He's got it. And that's 2 down now. That'll bring up Charlie Gold. He popped up to the pitcher's first at bat. Here's the first pitch to Gold. That's high, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. He offered it that one and missed. It's 1-1. The 1-1. He's popped it up. First baseman is there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. They go down in order here in the top of the third. We move to the bottom of the third. Chicago holding on to a 3-2 lead. It will be the 3, 4, 5 spots due up first. Levy Mayerly is going to lead things off. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. We have got to get a win against Troyes. Troyes. PSG dropped points for the second time this season. The first was the draw against us. Oh, okay. So you're trying to chase down PSG. God, it's so hard to win the French league because just literally I was looking at it the other day and I'm like, obviously you have like some of the bigger clubs in France still, like Lyon, Marseille. Unfortunately, Marseille, but like Lyon, Marseille, you know, and like, um, they're sitting on like 10 mil. And then like your next set, like a Montpellier or a Metz or a Reims, are all like on 5 mil. And then PSG just have like 100 million. And it's like, God damn it. Oh, Pep left City and went to PSG. So now you're fighting PSG and Pep. I wonder where he's going to go IRL. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. You know, I think he's going to take a few years off. Because, like, Vincent Kompany's doing okay at Bayern. He's got him in the Champions League final, right? It is still Kompany that's at Bayern, right? So, like, even though everyone was a bit meh about the appointment after the Burnley run, like, he's done well. Mbappe didn't go to Real Madrid. Oh, my God. Yeah, he did in the CLGFC save as well, Stuart. He never went to Real Madrid either. He stayed at PSG the whole time. But what was I going to say? Like, Real obviously have hired Mourinho. Barca have a manager. He's not going to go back to Barca. He could, but he's probably not. Like, Bayern don't need him. Dortmund don't have enough money for him. Like, where is he actually going to go? You know? I'm kind of curious if Pep is going to pick up another job, or I think he just takes a year off. And then one of those jobs opens up, like a Bayern, and he goes back there. You know? Or, you know, something in Italy maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I would like to see him go somewhere he's never gone before and be tested by a club that, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's like I would like to see him go somewhere that that doesn't have a lot of money because he's a good manager, but I'm not. He's only managed clubs that can buy leagues. So it's like I need to see him at like a, you know, like it's not like Xavi Alonso who did Leverkusen, right? Like that is genuinely an impressive feat. Like that genuinely tells me he's a decent manager. Where he has the money ball. Yeah, exactly. Here's Mayerly. Going to settle in. He had the RBI double his first at bat. That one is taken at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. Yeah. That's why whenever you tell me, like, who's the best manager, Pep's not on the list for me. Like, in my opinion, Ferguson's a better manager. Mourinho's a better manager. You know, I would put the likes of, like, Cruyff and Clough and Sir Bobby Robson over him. So, who's got to be the Brentford manager, doesn't it? I think it's the Brentford manager. I think it should be the Brentford manager. So, I can't remember his name. Keith something? Was it something Keith or Keith something? I can't remember his name of something. Not RLB? RLB? Who's RLB? Is that Sunderland's manager? Yes. No. He should be nominated. He should be nominated, but he shouldn't win. And the reason I say that is because everybody picked Brentford to go down. I didn't, by the way. I thought Brentford were going to be like 15th, 14th. And then they were going to drop. But everybody picked Brentford to go down, and they're on the cusp of European qualification. Keith Andrews, yeah. In my opinion, Keith Andrews is the manager of the season. Because Brentford have been a bitch to play. And, I think he could still technically qualify them for Europe. Everybody picked Sunderland. That is true. I didn't, actually. I thought Sunderland were going to stay up in 16th place, to be fair. You posted the table. I should probably look at it because I've lost track of where clubs are. Not going to lie. Just because we've been so far down the bottom, I can't see up that high. You guys are 10th. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Enola as well, Bournemouth's manager. He's a shout. I still think it should. I mean, they have 52 points. Yeah, I would give it to Brentford's manager. Stay humble, eh? I mean that by no offense to you. I just think Keith Andrews was written off well before the season started. And I don't think you can write him off anymore. I think you kind of write Brentford a little bit more off next season, especially if they do get into Europe. Because then you're like, they're going to have to juggle. And that team's not deep enough to do that. You know what I mean? So they're going to have like a Newcastle-esque season. So, none taken. I think it's a toss-up between and Andrew. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You guys finished top half of the first. You're doing a West Ham. The first year we came back up, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but the first year we came back up under Allardyce, we finished 10th. That's exactly where we finished. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one is off the plate inside, 1-1. The next season, we finished 15th, and we only finished 15th because we had 4 wins and a draw in February. So, I would not put Big Sam in the conversation of best managers of all time. I would put Ferguson, Cruyff, Clough, Robson, is it Boca? There's a guy, I think, at Boca that's been in the job like 20. Pep puts him there. Well, there's a guy in like Boca, I think, that's been at Boca Juniors for like a long ass time. At least that's the way he is in the longest save, but I don't know. 1-1 pitch. And that's fouled off. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's high, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Grounded over to third. The throw on to first is in time. 1 down. That'll bring up Gad Stiers. He had an RBI triple his last at bat. I think Joachim Lau should be in that conversation for the work he did with the German national team. I think a lot of people overlooked that and how just fucking good they were under him. You know what I mean? I think you have to put Joachim Lau in that conversation. Pep is incredibly complimentary about Big Sam. He does more with less is the thing. Yeah. He's a good manager. He is. Just don't know if I'd put him in the same conversation as Cruyff and Robson and Ferguson is my point. Shankly should be in that conversation as well. Here's the first pitch to Gad Stiers. And Gad Stiers missed that one. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's high, 1-1. 1-1 pitch. And Stiers is behind. It's on that one. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Popped it up. Into right. Right fielder's there. He's got it 2 down. Yeah, I would say something like Shankly, Robson, Lau, Cruyff, Clough, Ferguson, the Liverpool manager that just retired the German, the Jurgen Klopp. Good Lord, why did I stumble on his name? Jurgen Klopp should be in that conversation. Absolutely, Lau is there. I'd put Fergie, Clough, Don Riviere, Royce, Rinus Michaels, Cruyff's manager at Ajax and Barca. Klopp. Yep, Klopp should be in that conversation. That brings up Mark King. He grounded out the last time back. For those of you that are here just for the baseball and you're thinking, this conversation about football can't keep going on like this, can it? It can. Here's the first pitch. Swung on a miss. That's 0-1. That's a joke purely to amuse myself and nobody else. That was purely for my own entertainment. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's off the plate away. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is right down Broad Street. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's off the plate away. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Lined into left, but foul. The 2-2. Way inside. 3-2 to count. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off down the third base side. We do it again. The 3-2. In the dirt, ball 4, and Mark King has drawn an 8-pitch walk. That'll bring up Everett Mills. He flat out to left his last at bat. 1 on with 2 outs here in the third. First pitch. And that one is high, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is off the plate away, 2-0. Villa took it down today. They did. Welcome in, come get some. They looked really impressive. How about freaking Unai Emery though, man? 6 Europa League finals, 5 times a winner, man. That's insane work. That's some crazy work. Here's the 2-0. Inside, 3-0. One with Aston Villa, Villarreal, and Sevilla. Yeah. All the Villa teams, yeah. And who was managing when he didn't win? I don't actually know the final that he did not win. Oh, who was he managing when he didn't win? Arsenal. Oh, I thought you meant who was managing the other team when he didn't win. Yeah. You're saying who was the team he was managing when he didn't win, and that was Arsenal. Yeah. Right. A 3-0 pitch. Check swing, but it's in there for a called strike anyway. 3-1. Hitters count 3-1. Here's the pitch. That's grounded over to first. Stepping on the bag himself is Gold, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and they left one man on base. We go to the top of the fourth. Still a 3-2 game. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 spots due up first for Washington. John Bass will get things led off. But first, new inning, new sponsor. Mr. Nuclear Monster is an awesome variety streamer. He's been playing through the original Super Metroid. He's been playing through Marathon. He's been playing through Enclosed.Horse. He was doing some GeoGuessr earlier on his stream today. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Mr. Nuclear Monster sponsors our fourth inning here tonight. Top fourth here in Chicago. And the White Stockings leading this one by a score of 3-2. Here's John Bass. He reached via an error his first at bat. First pitch. That's grounded over to first. He'll just take it to the bag himself, and that's one away. Lorenzo Luca, the Tower of Power, heads in the cross to make it 1-0. Who are you? Are you playing PSG? Or is this the Trieste match? Troyes, yeah. John Radcliffe settles in. He reached via fielder's choices last at bat. First pitch to Radcliffe, and that's high, 1-0. I don't know if Pat Witz is here. I don't know if he's like lurking around, but I actually have re-signed Ragnarsson because his contract was up, and he said, "Oh, if he goes to Copenhagen, like if we get a bid for Copenhagen, send him there." And I'm like, "That's fine, I can do that," but his contract's up anyway, so like I either have to renew him or he goes to Copenhagen on a bid. Copenhagen did not bid for him so far, and I re-signed him, and he signed him. And Skull re-signed as well in the longest save. So, Martin Hongla gets an equalizer on the counterattack. 1-1 brutal. So I don't know if Copenhagen are going to come in for him in the January window. They might still. Here's the 1-0. That's offered at and missed. 1-1. And I've made no other real signings apart. I made no signings apart from what we did at the end of the stream yesterday. Here's the 1-1. That's high, 2-1. I did let I think it's 4 people go. Just players that we never use. Like literally players that had 2 appearances. And those 2 appearances were the last 2 games of the season when I needed to throw them. I let those players go with their contract being up. Here's the 2-1. That's grounded over to third. The throw on to first is in time. 2 down. So like Ali Kareem went, Dennis Appleberg went. I can't remember who else. I think Suad Hodzic might have went as well. I think I tried to re-sign him, and yet he got an offer from somewhere. I don't remember. I know somebody else went. At least 2 others. One of the keepers did. William Lannenborn was the keeper. That's right. He left. And then one other outfield player, I can't remember, left. And I'm also letting a youth prospect go because he's 19. And, like, he's a 19-year-old DM, MC, AMR, and striker. And if you highlight any of his positions that he plays, all of his technicals or almost all of his mentals, no, all of his technicals and almost all of his mentals are like 4 points off from being league average. And I'm like, he's 19, going to turn 20 in the offseason. Like he's just not going to become the player we need. You know what I mean? Like his development, sure, he could still develop into a decent player, but he's going to be like a tier 4 standard player or a middle table tier 3 standard player, and that's not what we're looking for. So I'm just going to let him go. Here's Bob Armstrong selling in. He had an RBI double his last at bat. 2-1, nobody out. First pitch to Armstrong is lined into left center, base hit. And Armstrong, is he going to go to third is the question. No, he slides into second. He's got back-to-back doubles. It's going to bring up Charlie Mills. He singled his last at bat. First pitch to Mills is inside, 1-0. That catches the plate? That catches the plate according to the ump. That did not look like it made the plate at all. I think that's a very generous call, but it's 0-1 to count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is fouled off. It's 0-2. 0-2 pitch. That's popped up. Shallow right. Second baseman goes back, makes the play, and the side is retired. No runs on one hit, and they left that man on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 3-1 or 3-2 Chicago. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 spots due up for the White Stockings. Charlie Hodes will get things led off. We are going to take a 3-minute break. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. Right, welcome back. Lauro cutting into the box from the wing, gets his 7th of the season to put Les Verts back on top 2-1. Luca gets the low cross and buries it 3-1 St. Etienne. Nice, man. Well done. Right. Charlie Oates will lead things off. He popped up to the catcher his last at bat. First pitch. What's the name of the track you had on? I have it on metal version, but I can't remember the name. Razorback. Actually, if you the Unreal Tournament 99, oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the Unreal Tournament 99 soundtrack, every game, I have the actual playlist loaded, and then every baseball game that we've done, I've just gone down the list on the soundtrack, and that's been the intermission song for that game. So, like, you're gonna hear Razorback for today during every ad break. And then the next game we play, I'm going to go down to the next one in the playlist, and you'll hear that one for every ad break. So I've been just burning through the Unreal 99 soundtrack. I was like, I know this melody. Nice, yeah. Right, Charlie Hode settles in. Popped up to the catcher his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Hodes, and he has ripped that into right, base hit. And Hodes is aboard with a single to start the inning. One on, nobody out for Sam Jackson. First pitch to him. He's chopped that foul. It's 0-1. Here's the throw over to first, and Hodes is back safely. The 0-1 is in there. No throw. It's a ball. Let's hope I don't say out of the ballpark again. It's fine. Now, that is an I don't think that counts as a stolen base for Hodes, despite the fact it was uncontested. Just goalless set piece FC, another goal from a corner. Haram ball. Smokaya, it's out of the baseball park. Out of the baseball 27 parks. Oh, it's out of the park. Out of the park. It's a really good game. Here's the 1-1. That's bunted down the first base side. It stays fair. The throw over to first. Not in time. He's beat the throw. And Sam Jackson has bunted for an infield hit. That's where your beard went. Out of the park beard. The beard has left the ballpark, yes. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Here is Cherokee Fisher. He had a sac bunt his last at bat. That first one. That first pitch is off the plate, high and away, 1-0. No, right? 11 days. Looks good, man. Here's the 1-0. That's chopped foul, 1-1. I genuinely think, you know what the funny thing is? I'm not an overthinker. Okay, do not get me wrong. I'm not an overthinker. But I try to be accommodating when I think. I try to think about a lot of different things that people don't think about. For example, obviously next weekend I'm going out. Anniversary and everything else. Um, let me tab out so you don't even, I don't have to fight the other park noise. Um, so you guys, I don't know if you guys know or not, but all this art I've been buying, I'm gifting to the girlfriend, right? Like she's getting it all, right? Like we've discussed that. I've also bought her the makeup that she uses, right? Even though she doesn't need it, because I have a feeling when I gift it to her, she might bawl her eyes out. And if that's the case, I'm going to bring I'm gonna literally, I have her makeup, not hers. Like I bought all the, same. Like I bought another case of all her makeup, so that when, if she does, she can fix her makeup. So that's the level of thinking that goes on in my brain sometimes. Fabrizio Diaz pulls one back for the visiting side off a bad clearance from the keeper, but another corner goal from Zeno to Bass right away makes it 5-2. Nice. But that's the kind of thing that I try to think. Like that's the level of thinking that goes on in my head sometimes. You know, I try to think of everything that goes on, all the subtle details as well, and then I try to accept or change that kind of stuff. So, um, sometimes it makes me a sly fox. Sometimes it makes me a clumsy idiot. It's not like we're actually playing a Rambo, which is really good off corners. That's fair. Here's the 1-1. That is lined right at the shortstop. He's got it. The throw over to first, and the runner is called safe. Just the one out. As Cherokee Fisher lines to the shortstop. And that'll bring up George Betchel. Betchel's 0 for 2. And morning, Sass. How are you, man? Here is the first pitch to Betchel. Way inside. 1-0. The 1-0. I'm good, thanks. Just finished the prediction bot. Nice. Get some rest, man. You deserve it. Here's the 1-0. That is right there. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded over to short. On to second. Oh, no. He's dropped it. It's a bad throw. It's a throwing error on the shortstop. It's an E6. That is shortstop John Bass with his second of the game. I did. Yeah, I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool for the viewers. Where is Valerie? Where is Stratty Valerie? Val's number. They were looking forward to. Nice. Okay, I'll pack it up, drive you. I appreciate you, Sass. Thank you so much, man. I got all these things I'm doing with art and stuff. I should hit up your Ko-Fi for everything you've done for me, man. I'm gonna make a note to do that within the next few weeks. Scoring from third is Hodes. Going to second is Jackson. He is the person who made the skin for FM24. He's the one that he made the skin for. He made the skin for me as well for 23. I mean, not for me, but he's the one. Let me rephrase that. He made the skin that I use in 23 as well. It is literally the greatest skin probably ever made. Bill Kelly in the batter's box, 1 for 2 so far today. First and second, 1 down. Best skin ever. I agree with Benny. Yeah. Yeah, Saskin's fucking incredible, man. Like, I might be playing FM23 for a very long time. Just because of that. Here it, I mean, that not the longest save. Not because it's just the longest save, but yeah. I hope you guys are excited for season 17 as well, because I'm excited for season 17 to start. I don't know how SI doesn't look at that and say, "Oh, this is proper FM player save." Yeah. Here's the first pitch to Kelly. He's going to bunt it down. Oh, that's not good. He's trying to bunt it down. So Kelly went to bunt it. It hit off the top of the bat, and it came back at the pitcher. The pitcher just catches it. Everybody's got to dive back to the base. And they do so successfully, but that's 2 outs now here in the 4th. Levy Mayerly settling in. He is 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI and a run. First pitch to Mayerly, and he's going to take that right on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one is right down the chute. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, that's grounded over the third. Throw one to first is in time, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they left 2 men on base. We go to the top of the 5th here. It is 4-2 Chicago. It'll be the 8-9-1 spots due up for Washington. Elmer White will be the man that leads things off. And the final whistle blows at the Stade Geoffrey Jucard with the score Association Sportif Saint-Etienne Loire 5, ESTAC Troyes 2. I've also said a few times on my channel before knowing Sasmas, I appreciate it. Who knows what the future brings? That's true. That's true. Right. I shouted them out previously, but we're going to do it again. I don't think there's any saving 26, Smokaya. It's not like a UI is going to fix the problems in 26. Because they're not. 26 is just a mess. I have to wait 2 minutes and 25 seconds before I can shout the commish out again. Fine. We move to the top of the 5th. Here's Elmer White settling in. First pitch to commit. First pitch to commish? No, first pitch to Elmer White. He swung on a miss. That's 0-1. It's not as bad as people say. I was pretty upset too, but I got over it. Okay. The problem I have with it, it's not as bad as when it first came out. The problem I have with it are there is still a lot of bugs. This brings us within 2 points of PSG. Nice. There's still a lot of bugs. Skull had one literally 2 days ago where Skull scored to go ahead 3-2, and then his own team took the kickoff. He scored and then took the kickoff instead of the opponent. There are save-breaking bugs, and for your save, ooh, yeah. MLS is still completely unplayable. Like, that's what agitates me, I think, the most, is the one league I want to do in 26 is unplayable. And there was a pen for me, yeah. There are still bugs with VAR as well with the offsides where they say a play is onsides and then they show you the replay and the players are like this far apart offsides and then they still give the goal. Um, so there's VAR bugs. There's bugs with the kickoff. MLS is unplayable. It's just not. I mean, I like it for these are serious things in VAR, bugs in VAR in real life. In England, yes, that's true. That's very true. In Europe, yes, that's true. Um, I think for me personally, and the Hall of Fame is still broken, which they'll never. They'll it'll be years before they fix that. Cough, cough, Celtic. Cough, cough. Yeah. Cough, cough, Havertz. Cough, cough. The framing is also incorrect because the ball is in a few frames ahead of those lines. Like, it's not touching the foot. That's true. That's true. Um, Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is popped up. But where the fuck did that even go? That's foul. Man, the Hall of Fame bug. My FM24 manager is in it. Yeah, I'm bugged with the Hall of Fame bug because the reason I like it so much in the longest save is because the save's going to be 450 seasons. So there's going to be players who are born who come into the save as new gens, who play their whole career, who retire and become managers themselves, who could become the next greatest manager. Do you know what I mean? And you want them to be represented, like I want them to be represented in the Hall of Fame if they do that. I want to be able to say, look at this manager that's come into our save in 2205 and turned out to be one of the greatest managers world football's ever seen. Because when he retires and we're still playing in the save in 2301, 100 years after he's come into the save and gone, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to point at his history and say, this is what he did, you know? And, like, to me, that's a really big, important thing for immersion. Most saves, the Hall of Fame doesn't matter at all. You're there to do one challenge, you know, whether it's a Penta or a bottom to top or a glory hunter or whatever, build a nation. You're there to do one challenge. And within 20 to 30 seasons tops, you've probably completed that challenge. The longest save is not like that, right? The longest save is literally 10 to 15 times that length. So it's like, we want that. I want the Hall of Fame to work because it's going to be a big piece in terms of the history and the immersion of the save. You know what I mean? So, whereas if you're just doing a 10 season, like if you're doing a Fallen Giant or you're doing a anything like that, the Hall of Fame doesn't matter, you know. Yeah, I get that 100%. I just love checking out older players. In the Legion's first season, my best player was a 36-year-old fullback, and he's managing a team in the first league now, and he hates my guts. Nice. But you know what I mean? Like, when and this is what bugs me when I tell people, like, I'm upset that the Hall of Fame is broken, and it's a big pain point for me in moving the save over to another FM. And they're like, who cares about the Hall of Fame? And I'm like, our save is going to be 400 seasons. Like, it's actually relevant to our save. You know, any other type of save we were doing, yeah, I wouldn't care. It's not relevant. But the fact that we're doing a save that's 400 seasons, actually, yes, it's very relevant to our save. Extremely relevant to our save. So, yeah, like, I need it to work. So, I have a feeling I'm going to be the guy that is playing 23 for a while. Like, even it's potentially I'm playing it through the 27 life cycle as well, because I don't think 27 is going to be clean either. And I think that's the problem. I think the biggest... I don't know. I don't know. There's a thought in the back of my head that bothers me a little bit about what it's a small grievance of what I've seen in the FM community. It's not directed really at any specific people. It's just a real minor grievance. And It's just, I don't know. I don't want to bring it to light. I mean, I should just suppress the thought. It's a stupid thought to have. Right. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That is flied out into right, and that is going to land foul. It hits off the wall on the foul side of the wall, and we'll do it again. Here's the 0-2. That's lined right at the first baseman. He's got it. And that's the first out of the inning. I have two of the top 3 world under 21 player of the year. And the other one is Lamine Yamal. Nice. Here's Al Pratt on the mound. First pitch to Pratt. And he's check swing. They're going to ask the first base umpire. He went. And that'll be strike 1. Here's the 0-1. That's high, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's a called strike. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is popped up in the infield. Second baseman comes in. He's got it. That's 2 down. I'll bring up Ed Dovey. He is 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Dovey. That's way high, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's right on the outside corner, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Foul tip. And it's 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He's grounded that back over towards second. The throw on to first is in time. And the side is retired. They go down in order for the 3rd time this game on the Washington Olympic side. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-2 Chicago. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 spots due up first. Gatstires will get things let off. We are going to take a 3-minute break. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. Welcome back. Uh, more Razorback. Man, which one? The headbang or the woo? The woo from Ian, because that's a very good one. Yes, that's a very good emote. It's really good actually. Well, welcome back, bottom fifth here. The headbang, yeah. It's woo, but yeah, it's the one where he's playing the guitar. Yeah, it's really good. Welcome in, Ian. Welcome in, my man. Right, bottom fifth here in Chicago. White Stockings leading by a score 4-2. Remember, a win here will put them joint first in the National League with Rockford. Gat Stiers settles, and he's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Stiers. Off the plate away, 1-0. How you doing tonight, Ian? Great to see you. Really good to see you, man. I hope you're well. Hope you're keeping well. Here's the 1-0. And that is just off the plate, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that is flied out into right. Right fielder's going to be there. He makes the grab. That's one down. That'll bring up Mark King. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch to King. And that one is at the lettering for a strike. 0-1. Oh, hold on. Who's hit me up on this? Oh, hold on. I have so many notifications on Discord. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. 2.81 XG. That is not Haram Ball, by the way. You're right, Stuart. Sorry. Normally, I don't mind it if, like, one person's DM'd me. And it's, like, 4 messages from them. But literally, I had, like, 3 different messages from Discord. Like, pings. I don't know about you. When I go into a Discord, the first thing I do is I click notification settings, mute new events, turn off here and everyone tags, turn off all role tags, turn off all the pings that say like everything, just replies, nothing. I'd return it to nothing, and then I go to the top and I click mute this Discord until I turn it back on. Yep. So like if I showed you my Discord, literally there's like no notifications. I also don't group anything. So like I don't use folders. So like I really need to, this is what I made Benny's notes for. So I can actually put it in here if it would load. And then cut. And then paste. Thank you for the lurk, Hollywood. Appreciate you. Like, look at that. Like, that is my Discord. That is the top of my Discord list. Like, nothing is foldered, and there are no notifications. The only thing that I actually don't have muted is my own Discord, obviously, right? Like, I don't have my Discord muted. It's my Discord. But all those other Discords, except for the Unreal Tournament one, but which is the yellow face with the mustache. But the only reason that's not muted either is because we're literally covering an event on Saturday for it. So this needs to not break, please. Oh shit, that's right. The hockey's tonight. I totally forgot about it. Oh well. So like if I go down that list, Wealth Squad, My Discord, Job Ready Programmer, Rennie Riot, Yugi, CLG, Mia Makes Music, Unreal Tournament, Assault Cup, Unreal Tournament 99 Leagues, Unreal Tournament 2004 Discord, Larissa Rochefort, Shumi, Chaotic 99, and Lulu Hardily. Those are those Discords. And I like literally have notifications muted on everything except the two. The Unreal Tournament one because we're doing an event on Saturday for them, and my own because it's my own. Bizarre Brinkay. What's good, man? I think we're going down, Biz. I think we're going down. I got to click box score. Let me go back here. There we go. I think West Ham go down this weekend. How are you, my friend? It is great to see you. I hope you're doing well, man. All right, here's the 0-1 pitch. That's fouled off. It's 0-2. You still think Spurs will Spurs it? That would be so Spurs. Here's the 0-2. Popped up. Behind home plate, catcher's there. He makes the grab. That's 2 away. I think Spurs will Spurs it, and they'll lose to Everton. I don't see us getting the result against Leeds. I think that's the thing. It's not the fact that Spurs are going to lose. I think it's the fact that we're not going to get the result against Leeds. We know we have one job. Here's Everett Mills. He's 0 for 2. But I hope you're well, Biz. It's great to see you, man. That's off the plate, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. He's offered at that one and missed. 1-1. Were you here when I told the story about almost being drafted by the Twins, Biz? I don't know if you were here for that story. I think you were here for it, but I'm not 100% sure. Here's the 1-1. That is lined into right, but it's drifting foul. It will land foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is flied into left, base hit. Everett Mills is aboard with a single here in the 5th. I'm good, man. Thanks. Nice. Good to hear, man. Here's Charlie Hodes. He is 1 for 2 so far today. No, I don't think I was. I was looking at doing stuff. Okay, so real quick. There's a guy on YouTube, or on Twitch, sorry. I'll shout him out again. He runs a virtual EMLB universe. And in that universe, you can create your own player and boost him and have him get better. And eventually you can have it so that he becomes he's drafted, right? Why does it do this again? Why is it doing this again? I don't know why it keeps muting that. So that's the commish. That was the All-Star game. So he does like a virtual EMLB universe. So yeah, I know, commish. I thought, really? Okay. So I created a player in the save, and that other ump who has been in this channel before has come in, and he's the manager. He's the general manager of the Twins in that universe, right? And he was talking to me because I asked him, I said, can you do me a favor? Because I'm just curious. Can you tell me what the last mock draft said that my player was going to be drafted in? And he's like, it said like 4th or 5th round, but I don't think you're going to go past the 3rd. So I was like, okay. And he wanted to draft me in the 3rd round. Well, it comes to draft day on Saturday, right? And the draft goes crazy. And we get to the 2nd round of the draft, and it's Montreal's pick. The Twins are in 2 picks time, and Montreal picked my player. And I was like, oh, shit. So I signed with my player signed with the Montreal Expos, but I was 2 picks away from being drafted by the Twins. And the guy was like, I wanted you this round too. I was like, I don't know, man. It be what it be. So I was this close to having my player in Commission's universe playing for the Twins. Here's the first pitch to Hodes. 1 on, 2 outs. That's going to be lined into right, base hit. And Hodes has his second knock of the afternoon. That's cool. Commission's good stuff. Cool. It's a great channel. It's a really great channel. And his community is so into that universe as well. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. It's not just the fact that, like, what he's doing is amazing, and he deserves a lot of credit for masterminding it. Don't get me wrong. But it's the fact that, like, a lot of his community have gone all in on it as well. And I think that's fucking wonderful. Like, that's what makes it so cool. Is that it's really not just him. It's the community that he's fostered over there that's really made it probably one of the most unique experiences on Twitch, in all honesty. It's just a great place to be. Here's Sam Jackson. He's the 1-2 pitch. I'm sorry, yeah, the 1-2 pitch. Sorry, let me restart. Here's Sam Jackson settling in second baseman. He's 1 for 2 so far. First pitch, that is way off the plate, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That is flied out into right. And that's going to be a base hit, and that could be runs. He's going to third. Is he going to get there? The throw to third. Safe at third. And it's a 2 RBI triple for Sam Jackson. He was sick of these motherfucking runners being left on motherfucking base, so he cleared them all. And it's 6-2 Washington. That brings up Cherokee Fisher. First pitch to Fisher. And he's offered at that one and missed. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's offered at missed. 0-2 to Fisher now. Here's the 0-2. We swung on and missed. And the side is retired. We put the K in chat to record the strikeout. And we tell you it was 2 runs on 3 hits. And they left 1 man on base. We go to the top of the 6th. It's 6-2 Chicago. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 spots due up. Tom Foley is going to be the first man up. But first, new ending means new sponsor. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Ian Bigfoot is an awesome individual. Very kind gentleman. Just a great guy. Really. Last playing Labyrinthine. Check him out. He's also got the best beard on all of Twitch. Ian Bigfoot sponsors our 6th inning here tonight. Right, 6th inning in Chicago. 6-2 White Stockings. It'll be Tom Foley set to lead things off. He's 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Foley. And he's popped it right up on the first pitch. Third baseman's coming in for it, and he's got it. 1 down. That brings up Charlie Gold. Gold is 0 for 2 so far today. Remember, it was the first 2 hitters with a cold streak. They have not had a hit in like 5 games. And Duffy is 0 for 3. Foley is 0 for 3 now. This is Charlie Gold at 0 for 2 today. First pitch to Gold, and he's grounded that foul. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over the third. The throw on to first is in time. 2 down. Here's John Bass. He's 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Bass. Off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Bass offered at that one and missed on it. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That is going to miss. That was high. I'm sorry, that was high. High and outside, but that was high. I don't think that was high. Here's the 2-1. That's flied out in the left, drifting foul. It will land in the seats. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High and inside, 3-2. The payoff pitch. And he's walked him, ball 4. So through 12 plate appearances for the opening 4 batters, the top 4 batters in this Washington lineup, Duffy 0 for 3, Foley 0 for 3, Gold 0 for 3, Bass 0 for 2 with a walk. 1 base runner out of the opening from the 12 plate appearances by the top 4 of this order. And the pain doesn't get any better. Here's John Radcliffe. He's 0 for 2 himself. First pitch to Radcliffe. The throw over to second. They're going to get him. They've got him. They gunned him down. He's caught stealing. Is John Bass, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's a 6-2 Chicago game. It's the top of the order, due up. George Betchel will be the first man up. We're going to take a 3-minute break. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. All right, welcome back. Bottom sixth here in Chicago. 6-2 game. Top of the order, 2 up. It'll be George Betchel. Lead things off here in the 6th. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Betchel. And that one's taken high. 1-0. I have a debate. I have a debate. I have a debate. Smokaya actually didn't know what I was saying for the longest time. Here's the 1-0. It's fouled off. It's 1-1. And I'm like, if you read it, it actually says, like, I have the faith in you to make the difference, or I have the faith in you to go out there today and make a difference. So it's like, that's the, when you click on midfielders or defenders, that's like always the first option. So here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. That's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. It's lined right back up the middle. Base hit. And Betchel's got his first knock of the afternoon. A leadoff single. I'll bring up Bill Kelly. He's 1 for 3. I should get little like shirt if I ever made merch, which I'm not one that wants to like plug merch or sell merch or anything like that. But if I ever did make merch, my 2 quotes that I would have on like a mug or a shirt would literally be, I have a debate, or it would be praise the train, and because we do that too. It's a Champions League night in Zagreb as the Greens from the French Alps come to Maksimir. All right, here's the first pitch to Bill Kelly, who was 1 for 3 himself so far today. Kelly's fly this in the left. That's going to drift foul. It'll be 0-1. The Croatian National Stadium, also the home of Dinamo Zagreb. Yeah. Here's the 0-1, and that's foul. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, inside, ball 1. The 1-2. And he's plunked him. He's absolutely plunked him. And so Bill Kelly's aboard after being hit by the pitch. And that will put on first and second. Nobody out. Levy Mayerly up to bat here. He is 1 for 3. First pitch to Mayerly. Check swing. But it's in there for a strike anyway. And it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is high, 1-1. The 1-1 is high, 2-1, and that gets by the catcher. That's a pass ball. Going to third is Betchel for free. Kelly goes to second. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is high, 3-1. Second and third, nobody out. Hitters count. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and missed. It's going to get by the catcher again. Coming home to score is Betchel. Going to third is Kelly. 7-2 Chicago. Here's the 3-2. That swung on and missed. He struck him out. 1 down. That'll bring up Gat Stiers. He's 1 for 3 so far today. I will say this. I know you guys do like the beard. Don't get me wrong. However, This microphone without the beard is so much better than the microphone with the beard, because you have to put this little piece, this little area of your face between your nose, literally the bridge of your nostrils, and your upper lip. That is where this microphone sits. You are supposed to put it against the skin. It's meant to be used like that, right? It is meant to be used exactly like this. Okay? So pushing my mustache into my own face with this microphone is way less comfortable than it just being bare skin straight on the, you know what I mean? Like, that is, I will say. It's an own goal, and you're up in the 4th minute. Nice. Here's the first pitch to Stiers, and he has ripped that right at the first baseman. He's got it. 1 down. Or 2 down, sorry, 2 down. Like, it is so much nicer to have this now. So much, especially ahead of Saturday, where it's going to get used for 12 hours. Like, oh my God, it's so much nicer. Here's Mark King. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch to King. And that's taken for a called strike. No, it's a ball. That was not high. That was not high. That was not high. Yo, it's the beardless Benny. It was called a ball, though. 1-0. How you doing, Ian? Here's the 1-0. And it's fouled off. It's 1-1. Are you working or are you home, Ian? Doing well. Nice. Here's the 1-1. Now that's high. That's 2-1. A 2-1 pitch is fouled. And it's 2-2. You got home a while ago? Nice. What'd you have for dinner, man? Did you make yourself something nice? We made lasagna tonight, which was very good. But I think tomorrow I'm the chef because we have burgers in. And then, yeah. Maybe I try to make my own pizza this weekend. That'd be nice for Sunday. On my way home, I got a Little Caesars, and a Mango Dew. The Little Caesars pizzas are just so good. Like, it's just so nice. It's just nice to stop at if you have a good Little Caesars. Just go there and pay $5-6 for a pie, and just have a cheap ass cheese pie. Like, I love Little Caesars for that. I'm not one that likes all the crazy stuff. I'm a basic bitch, if we haven't established that already. But Little Caesars is not bad pizza, but it's so cheap. It's just like, I will slap $6 down and get me a pie. Like, I will take that all day. I'll say this, the puffs were good, but you may as well get a pizza for the few dollars more. Yeah, that's figures. But there is a place up in Paradise that does pizza. Oh my God, they're so good. Like, it's incredible. Like, the pizza's incredible. It's a chain as well. It's like a regional chain of pizza. So it's a franchisee. And we have one down here in town. And they're nowhere, they're okay, but they're nowhere near as good as the one up in Paradise. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, they're so good. And then if you order crispy fries, they're perfectly salted. So what I like to do is I like to order me a pie, and then I'll take the crispy fries and I'll put them on the pie. And then you just, when you bite into the cheese, you just have this salty cheese, and it's just like, oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So good. It's literally the best pizza I've had since I've been out here. Well, that's not true. Is it Sam's? No, it wasn't called Sam's. What was it called back in the day? I can't remember. But there's a place in town that was like broke. It's not called Sam's. It's called something else. But there's a place in town that was owned by a dad, an older dad, right? Big Greek guy, right? And they did pizza. And when they did pizza, when he was running the restaurant, the pizza was fucking incredible. Like, it rivaled the pizza I had in Philly. That's how good it was. Like, it was such good pizza. But then he gave the the business to his son, and his son, like, it's just not the same. Steve's, Saul's? No. No, it's not an S. I can't remember what it's called. Because there's another pizza shop on the corner that, like, has tried and went out of business, tried and went out of business, tried and went out of business. So, but this one's had like 2 or 3 different names as well. So, but oh my God, it was when it was the dad that ran it. It was so good. But now that it's the son, it's nowhere close. Nowhere close to being as good. So, and it's a shame. So now I go to the place up in Paradise, and that place is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, we have the best sign in all of the United States, by the way, Ian. I don't know if you know this where I live. There's a sign, if you're on US Route 30, right? Lincoln Highway, US Route 30. They're both the same. For those that don't know, Lincoln Highway was the first trans-state highway built in the United States, right? And it was called Lincoln Highway in honor of Abe Lincoln. It became U.S. Route 30 once Eisenhower renumbered all the state routes and U.S. routes, like, to make them uniform, right? But it was called Lincoln Highway, and it still retains that name. However, there's a sign on one of the exits up on Lincoln Highway. If you take, I don't know which exit, but if you take the exit ramp and you go up the ramp, right? You're going up the ramp. There's a sign that literally says intercourse this way, paradise this way, as if the opposite of paradise is intercourse. You would think they're one and the same. At least I would think they're one and the same. But apparently they're polar opposites. At least down here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That is lined into left. That's going to drift foul. It's still 2-2. And I am not making that up, by the way. That sign exists. Here's the 2-2. That is grounded back to the mound. Do they go home? He's just going to go to first. He gets the batter, and the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit, and they leave 1 man on base. We go to the top of the 7th. It is a 7-2 Chicago game. It is going to be the 5, 6, 7 spots due up for Washington. John Radcliffe will lead things off, but new inning, new sponsor as always. Hollywood. Why did it shout me out? Why did it shout? Oh, the channel I'm shouting out does not exist. What? Oh, because I put TV 24 and it's thank you 24. Whoops. That's not it either. God damn it. Oh my sweet mother! I'm going to lose my shit. Way to go! There we go. That's him. Hollywood is an awesome out of the park baseball streamer. He's actually live right now. You can get free drops for out of the park from his stream. Give him a follow if you haven't already. the great Hollywood. Shout out Hollywood. We're going to ignore the fact that I fucked that up 3 times. That's 3 strikes. Perfect for the game you're streaming. Fuck. God damn it. God damn it. Hollywood is going to sponsor our 7th inning here tonight. Here's the first pitch to John Radcliffe. Oh, God damn it. And that's going to be a base hit into, you're out.
Quit your groveling. I will send you to hell.
That's a base hit. Thank you very much for the 100, but you never had to, Ian. Please, you know, thank you so much. You're out. Were you there when I told Grace about the old baseball alarm clock I used to have, and it was an umpire, and he would like come out of a giant baseball and he would just scream, "Don't argue with me, you're out of here." And then I showed it to Grace. She's like, "This would cause me childhood trauma," and I'm like, it explains so much now. Like, yep, yeah. Oh man, I'm still recovering 20 years later. And she had the Nickelodeon clock. I had nothing cool. Listen. I have you know what I have now? You know what one of my alarm clocks is right now? Let's see if I can find it. I think it's an 83. I think it's an 83. This is it, 1984. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is it with the dial on the side. Yep, that's the one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to link this because the link, it's eBay, so the link is like going to be fucking, you know, long as shit. It is. I can't link it. But I don't know if you want to Google this. Okay. But I have a 1984 General Electric flip clock radio alarm. The 7-4305F is what it is. That's my alarm clock that I have in my room. So, yeah, that's the model. The model is a 7-4305F. It's by General Electric. It's a flip clock. If you guys want to know why brown's my favorite color, and brown is my favorite color, okay? I don't know if people know that or not, but chocolate brown is actually my favorite color. So, my grandfather passed when I was young. I was like 10 or 12 when he passed away. And on my mom's side. He was the first of my grandparents to pass away. And I was like 12, I think, 11 or 12 maybe actually. And on that side of the family, there was a very ugly amount of fighting over the will and over the when my grandmother passed away. Because obviously everything that was my granddad's went to my grandmother, and then my grandmother passed away. And she passed away. She passed away when I was in college. I think my freshman year in college. I had come home for Thanksgiving break. And I remember I was sleeping on the couch because I didn't have a bedroom. This was when me and my brother really started to fight. I got kicked out of my own bedroom because we used to share the bedroom. In my first house, my childhood house, we shared the bedroom when we were a kid. When I went to college, my brother had finished his college and he was still at home. And I had basically gotten kicked out of the bedroom. So when I came home from college, I didn't have anywhere to sleep. So I slept on the couch. Um, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. But I remember Thanksgiving morning of my freshman year in college, I'm pretty sure, which I think was '09. We had gotten a call from my mom's sister that her mom had passed away. So when she passed away, she had all of my granddad's stuff and her stuff, and there was a lot of bickering over the will and everything else, right? And it got very ugly. And what happened is my uncle on that side essentially took everything. All my granddad's war medals, his books with all the pictures he had from the war, which are very rare because my dad served in World War II, or my granddad served in World War II. So these were like photos from like the 40s and the 50s. These were very early age photos, you know what I mean? A lot of black and white, not a lot in color, and all of his war memorabilia and everything else. So he took all of that. He took everything of my grandmother's as well, basically, that he wanted. And we have a few things of my grandmother's because he did not want them. So like Christmas ornaments, we have a punch bowl from her as well. But what do you call it? One of the things he gifted me, my granddad gifted me specifically before he passed, was his alarm clock, because I always thought it was cool, because I was a little young kid, you know what I mean? I was only like, when he gifted it to me, I was like 9 or 10. And it was this alarm clock, this 1984 General Electric alarm clock, chocolate brown covered. So when as I grew up, that was the only thing I had of my granddad from my mom's side of the family. And I eventually lost it when we moved. It stopped working anyway. But I had lost it when we moved, and I bought it I bought another one off eBay about a year ago. It works, and I use it. But that was the only thing I had of him, and that's essentially why brown became my favorite color, because I tried to hold on to that radio of his for the longest time. It was the only thing I had. Years later, we had found out that my aunt had managed to take a few things out of the house before my uncle ransacked it. So I have some commemorative bowling pins that are like, yay high. They're literally no taller than like the chapstick. And they're from the bowling league that my granddad was in. But they are also, oddly enough, brown. So, yeah, that's how brown wound up becoming my favorite. A little bit of penny lore tonight. So that's how brown became my favorite color. Here's Bob Armstrong. Armstrong is 2 for 2 today. First pitch to Armstrong. Runner on first, nobody out, and that's taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is flied into left. That's going to land foul. We'll do it again at 0-2. I kind of wish I did have his memorabilia, because my granddad has 1 Bronze Star and 2 Purple Hearts. He fought in Iwo Jima. So my granddad was part of the Iwo Jima, the Battle of Iwo Jima. So, which if you know anything about that battle, that was a horrendously bloody battle in World War. It's probably one of the most, but it's like, I think Okinawa might be the bloodiest in the Pacific, but if it's not Okinawa, then it is Iwo Jima. Like, that was, yeah. So it's you kind of look at it like the story of Iwo Jima and Okinawa, and you're like, wow, how do you even, like, we're really lucky he made it out, you know what I mean? And then had a full life back here, So, here's the 0-2. That's inside, 1-2. Just because of how many troops, how many people we lost in those battles. Here's the 1-2. That's popped straight up in foul territory. First baseman comes over there. He's got it. That's one away. That's going to bring up Charlie Mills, the 1-2, or he's 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the pitch. First pitch. That's going to be a called strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed at a pitch straight down the center of the plate. Fisher blew it right by him. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And he is swung on a pitch that jammed him, and that lands foul. Still 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Off the plate, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled down the first base side, 1-2. 1-2, throw over to first. Runners back safely. The 1-2 is lined back up the middle, base hit. And Radcliffe is aboard, or I'm sorry, Mills is aboard for the second time tonight. Radcliffe goes to second. That'll bring up Elmer White. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to White, and that's taken right down the chute. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's way inside, 1-1. The 1-1. That's fouled off. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is lined into left. That'll drift foul. Still 1-2. Here's the pitch. That's grounded over to second. They go to second for one. No, it's dropped. It's dropped. The throw is off the mark. It's an E4. It's an error. Going to second is Mills. Going to third is Radcliffe. And the bases are loaded with just one out for Washington. Al Pratt, the pitcher, due up. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Pratt. And he's going to take a strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And that one's off the plate, 1-1. The 1-1. Fouled off. 1-2. The 1-2. High, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. That's grounded over towards short. No play. He fumbled it. He fumbled the fielding. He thought he had it, and he came up. He bent down to get it, and he came up without the baseball. That's an E6. The E4, by the way, was credited to Sam Jackson. The E6 is credited to Charlie Hodes. So Pratt goes to first. White goes to second. Mills goes to third. And Radcliffe scores 7-3. And not only that, we go back to the top of the order. And the tying run is at the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. Ed Duffy, who's 0 for 3. First pitch to Duffy is way high, 1-0. The 1-0. That's taken for a strike, 1-1. The 1-1. Inside, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That's grounded over to second. And that's fumbled by the second baseman. It's an E4. 3 errors in this inning. And it's starting to cost them. It's starting to cost Chicago as Jackson gets his second error of the afternoon. because not only does Duffy get aboard, not only does Pratt go to second, not only does White go to third, but Charlie Mills will score, and it's 7-4. And the tying run is on for the go-ahead run is now at the plate. Here's Tom Foley. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Foley. And he has popped it straight up right at the third baseman. He's got it. That is 2 down. Here's Charlie Gold. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Gold. Right down broad for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's inside. 1-1. That's going to get by the catcher. Oh, no. Safe. Runner is safe at third. It's a passed ball. Duffy goes to second. Pratt goes to third. Scoring is Elmer White. It's 7-5. The tying run is now in scoring position. Here's the 1-1. That's flied out into center field. It's over the center fielder's head. It's going to be runs. Charlie Gold has done it. It's a 2 RBI double for Charlie Gold. Scoring from third is Pratt. Scoring from second is Duffy. It's a 7-7 ball game. Here's John Bass. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch to Bass. The go-ahead runs in scoring position. That's taken in the dirt for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That is grounded over the second. The throw one to first is in time. And the side is retired. 5 runs on 3 hits, and they left 1 man on base. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here in Chicago. It's a 7-7 ball game. We're going to leave you with this rendition, as always, of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more. You heard the man. We are going to play ball. It is bottom 7th here in Chicago, as Washington has come all the way back in the last half inning to tie this game. Six, seven, 8 spots will be due up for Chicago. Everett Mills settles in. He's going to lead things off. Mills is 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Mills. And he's flied this into left. Left fielder takes a few steps forward. He's got it. 1 away. I've lost the sound. We got to go box score and back to return the game. There we go. Right. This is Charlie Hodes now. 2 for 3. First pitch to Hodes. Rounded over to second, and that's a bad throw. And that's going to be a 2-baser. That is an E4. Now it says it skips past Gold. Has that gone down as an error for Gold? Or is that going down as an error on Duffy? I think it's an error on Duffy, isn't it? It is an error on Duffy. Fielding errors, Duffy. Now hold on a minute. Because they have 4 here, but they only have 3 here. Oh, Bass, 2. Bass has 2. I have the... Oh, it's an effort. Yeah, Duffy. Okay. So the second baseman's credit with it's an E4 and it's a 2-bagger as well. It allows the man to get to second base. That is Charlie Hodes. So go ahead run is in scoring position now for Chicago. Sam Jackson settling in. He is 2 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Jackson. And he has lined this into left center. That's a base hit. And Jackson has got his second knock of the afternoon. Hodes goes to third, and it's runners on the corners with just 1 out. Here's Cherokee Fisher. He is 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Fisher, and he's going to take that for a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is grounded foul down the third base side. Oh, 2 to count. Here's the pitch. That's high, ball 1, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That is ripped foul into seats and left. At the half, it's still 1-0 from the visiting side from France. Nice. Here is the 1-2. That's off the plate. 2-2. 2-2 pitch is grounded foul. Still 2-2. Now 2-2 is off the plate. 3-2. Is this league phase, Stewart? Or is it knockouts? Here's the 3-2 pitch. That is grounded over to third. The throw home is in time. They got him. So Fisher on a fielder's choice. 5-2. And he will go to second. Going to third is Jackson. And Hodes is thrown out at home. I'm assuming you're in league phase still. Here's George Betchel settling in. 1 for 4 so far today. First pitch. Rounded foul down the third base side. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's inside, ball 1. You have to put that ball on target. Oh. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. They're going to ask third base. He went around, says the third base umpire. It's 1-2. said third base, the first base umpire. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled. Still 1-2. The 1-2. Fouled again. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. The 2-2. That's fouled. Down the first base side. Still 2-2. The 2-2 is grounded over to short. The throw on to first is in time. And the side is retired. No runs on one hit. And they left two men on base. We go to the top of the eighth. It is a 7-7 ball game. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 spots due up. John Radcliffe will be the first man up. Here we go. Lucas Bergvall with the narrow angle shot makes it 2-0. Let's go. Let's go. Right, Radcliffe is 1 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Radcliffe. Yes, the Berghold for IRL plays for Spurs. All good. He's a good player. That's grounded over the second, on to first, and that's in time. That's going to bring up Bob Armstrong. He is 2 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Armstrong. That's way high, 1-0. There's the 1-0. Ripped into center. Center fielder going back a few steps. He's got it. 2 down. Here's Charlie Mills. He's 2 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Mills. And that's high. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's ripped foul into the seats. It's 1-1. The 1-1. And that one's inside. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. He's popped it up right at second base. Second baseman's there. He's got it, and the side is retired. They go down in order, and we go to the top. I'm sorry, we go to the bottom of the eighth. It's 7-7. Bill Kelly will be the first man up. He's 1 for 3 so far today. We're going to take ourselves a 3-minute break. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. apologies for the longer. I actually went off. I actually went out to use the restroom. So apologies for the longer delay there. We're back. Bottom 8th. Tie ball game. And Bill Kelly's settling in. He's 1 for 3. First pitch to Kelly. And Kelly's grounded this over. That is an error on the first baseman. That's an E1. I'm sorry, E3. That is first baseman Charlie Gold with the error. And these are not the times you want to be making those. This late into a tie ball game, the leadoff runner is aboard now for Chicago. Brings up Levy Merrily. He is 1 for 4. First pitch. That's inside. That's on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is going to get by the catcher. Kelly goes to second. He's in scoring position. That's a wild pitch on Pratt. Remember that player I said fit my play style perfectly? He's making his senior squad debut on the Champions League away day, and he's nearly at 2 goals. Nice. Is it, again, is it league phase? I take it it's league phase, right? Here's the 1-1. League phase, yes, nice. That one is just off the plate, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Ripped into left, and that's a base hit. And Mayerly's got his second knock of the afternoon. And the go-ahead run for Chicago is 90 feet away. Nobody out right now. That'll bring up Gat Stiers. He's 1 for 4. Stiers lifts this into left. That might be enough to get the run home. Does the runner tag? He does not. And that's 1 away. Had he hit that opposite field, I think Kelly's coming home. Mark King settling in. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch to Mark King. He's taking that right at the knees, 0-1. There's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Lined into right center, base hit. And Mark King has put Chicago back in front for the 3rd time in this game. Kelly scores from 3rd. Mayerly goes to second. 8-7 White Stockings. Here's Everett Mills. He's 1 for 4. First and second, 1 out. First pitch to Mills. He's grounded that to short. Over to second. They get the lead runner. Or they get one of the runners. They don't get the lead runner. He goes to 3rd. That is Levy Mayerly. But it is a fielder's choice 6-4. Going to first is Mills. They throw King out at second. And it's runners on the corners here with 2 down. Brings up Charlie Hodes. He's 2 for 4 today. First pitch to Hodes. Outside, ball 1. There's the 1-0. That's popped up right in the infield. Second baseman comes in, makes the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they left 2 men on base. We go to the top of the 9th. It is a 1-run ball game. 8, 9, 1 spots are due up for Washington. Elmer White will be the first man up. We are going to have a substitution. Jim Carlton will come in for Elmer White. Here is the first pitch to Carlton. He's 2 for 9 in pinch hits, and this time he just swings on the first one and lines right to the third baseman. 1 away. Now this is the pinch hit that made sense. Al Pratt's day is done. Tom Berry will be the pinch hitter here. Berry hitting just 3 for 20 on the season, but he's 500 as a pitch hitter, and he takes the first one at the knees for a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that is popped up behind home plate in foul territory. The catcher has it. And that's 2 down now. And back to the top of the order, and Ed Dovey, who was 0 for 4. First pitch to Dovey. Fouled off, and it's 0-1. Oh, this is tempting to take the piss here. Why do you say that? Here's the 0-1. And he's flying that out to center. Center fielder has it, and the ball game is over. Chicago survive a scare after a 5-run sixth, but they cannot, though the Olympics cannot get the lead. Commitment to, oh, okay, I see. And Chicago comes away with a big victory. It sees them go top of the National League with Rockford. The final score in this one from Chicago, Illinois, the Washington Olympics 7, the Chicago White Stockings 8. Let's do your statistics. Allow me to just play some music in my ears. Here's your batting statistics for the Washington Olympics. Ed Dovey had 5 at-bats. He had no hits. He scored 1 run. He made 1 fielding error. He struck out once. Tom Foley had 4 at-bats, and he popped up every at-bat. He did not have a hit. Charlie Gold had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. Oh, my God, that was a terrible one. He had 1 hit. It was a double. He had 2 RBIs, and he had a fielding error. John Bass had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had a base on balls. He made 2 fielding errors. John Radcliffe had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 2 runs. Also, by the way, John Bass was caught stealing. John Radcliffe had an error. Bob Armstrong had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits. Both of them were doubles. He had an RBI, and he scored a run. Charlie Mills had 4 at-bats. He scored 2. He had 2 hits. He had 1 run. He stole 1 base. Elmer White had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had a run, and he had an RBI. Al Pratt had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He scored 1 run. Jim Carlton had 1 at-bat. He did not have a hit. Tom Berry had 1 at-bat. He did not have a hit. Final totals. Please not mention Leona PSG, so I'll be fair now. Final totals for the Washington Olympics. 5 and 4 is 9, and 4 is 13, and 3 is 16, and 4 is 20, and 4 is 24, and 4 is 28, and 3 is 31, and 3 is 34, and 1 is 35, and 1 is 36. 36 at-bats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. 3 doubles. 2 base on balls. 1 strikeout. 1 stolen base. Uh, 4 RBIs. 5 fielding errors. We'll come back to the pitching stats in a moment. The batting stats for the hometown Chicago White Stockings. George Betchel had 5 at-bats. He scored 1 hit, or he had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. Bill Kelly had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. He was hit by the. He scored 2 runs. Beg your pardon. He scored 2 runs. He was hit by the pitch. Levy Mayerly had 5 at-bats. He scored 2 hits, one of which was a double. He had an RBI. He scored 1 run. He struck out once. But it's still very tempting to give Big Stan piss take answer. Nice. Gat Stiers had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. It was a triple. And he had an RBI. Mart King had 4 at-bats. He scored 1 hit. It was an RBI. And he drew a base on balls. Everett Mills had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit and a fielding error. Charlie Hodes had 5 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He had 1 run. He stole 1 base, and he had a fielding error. Sam Jackson had 4 at-bats. He had 3 hits. 1 was a triple, and he had 2 RBIs. And he scored 1 run, and he made 2 fielding errors. And then lastly, Cherokee Fisher had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He struck out once. Final totals for the Chicago White Stockings. 5 and 4 is 9 and 4 is 14, and 5 is 19, and 4 is 23, and 5 is 28, and 5 is 33, and 4 is 37, and 3 is 40. So 40 at-bats. Runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've missed runs somewhere. Where the freak did I miss runs? One, two, three, four, five, six. I'm missing 2 runs. I'm missing 2 runs. Where am I missing the 2 runs from? Oh, the 5th inning. The 5th inning. Because of the triple. I didn't mark off the runs in the triple. Fuck. Okay, so Everett Mills has. I'm sorry. Charlie Hodes has 2 runs instead of 1. Everett Mills has a run as well. Okay, that's where I was missing them. Hits 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12. Yep. Doubles 1, just the 1. Triples 2. 1 base on balls. 2 strikeouts. 1 stolen base. Cherokee Fisher, by the way, he had a sack. So 1 sack. And RBIs 1, 2, 3, 5. Fielding errors 4. There we go. Hi, Ducky. Hi, Viva. How are you, Viva? Good evening, Viva. Al Pratt gets credited with the loss. He pitches 8 innings. I have his pitch count at 142. That's correct. 142. Base on balls, I have one base on balls, two strikeouts, but 12 hits, 8 runs, and how many earned? Four of them earned. He gets credited with the loss. He will drop to 9-13. Night all. Good night, Stewart. Take care, man. Have a good night. We're about to wrap up here anyway. Cherokee Fisher gets credited with the win. He pitches 9 innings. I have his pitch count of 113. Um, two base on balls, one strikeout, 6 hits, 7 runs, but not a single one of them was earned. And he will improve to 11-6. Right. Official game time was 2 hour 24 minute. Official match attendance was 845. The question is now, what does it do to the standings? That's the big one. What does this do to the standings? July is complete, so let's slide in here and finish off our stream. Right, we're going to advance one day, and McBride wins top pitcher in July. Cool. Our next game will be the Fort Wayne Kekiungas at the Rockford Forest Cities. That's a massive game, and it's the first game to kick off the August part of the season. I think we have 12 games on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I
7,
owe allegiance
8,
to
9,
no
10,
entity.
11,
I intend to live
11,
by my own
11.
code now.
Mr. Nuclear Monster, welcome in. You're tuned in to Mr. Nuclear Monster's Raid. 95.1 FM. Get rated. Nice. Welcome in. How is your stream, man? Guys, if you aren't already following Mr. Nuclear Monster, give him a follow. GeoGuessr, Marathon, Super Metroid. Here he is playing GeoGuessr. Is this a 5K? Is this a 5K? Is this a 5K? Are we getting 5K here? Oh my God. Nice. Nice. Well done. Well done. Go give him a follow if you haven't already. He's awesome. Mr. Nuclear Monster. Thank you for the raid, Mr. Nuclear Monster. Right. Let's clean up the standings here because we're at the end of our baseball game. So what does Chicago's win do to the standings? Well, they are joint top now of the National League alongside the Rockford Forest Cities. Fort Wayne Kekiungas are going to move to a game and a half back. The New York Mutuals are 2.5 back. The Troy Haymakers are eliminated. They are 10 games back. They only have 8 left in their season. They are eliminated from playoff contention. The Boston Red Stockings are top of the American League still, 12-5. They've lost 3 straight though. Cleveland are 11-7. They're a game and a half back. The Philadelphia Athletics are 11-9. They're 2.5 back. Washington is now 6 games back, and they have 9 games left in their season. So not a lot of time for Washington to turn their season around. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They're looking like they might be the next team out of the pennant race. This is the 1871 season, so only the top teams in the pennant will go on to the World Series. Right now that's Chicago and Boston, but Chicago and Rockford are neck and neck. It's just that Chicago have 14 games in their season left. Rockford has 6. So next game of the stream will be the Fort Wayne Kekiungas, who are 13-12 at the Rockford Forest Cities. That is a big game in the National. That is a massive game in the National League. That is going to be our stream, our next Out of the Park stream, which is next week. We will follow that with Fort Wayne at Chicago. So we have 2 Out of the Park games next week. The first will be Fort Wayne at Rockford. The second will be Fort Wayne at Chicago. And then the following week we'll pick up with Philadelphia at Rockford. Right. If you're on the YouTube, this is the end of the recording. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.